Welcome back to more Explorers of Darkness. Last time we pretty much just did some busy work and did some random missions, but this time to actually progress the story. And I didn't catch it on the recording last time, but I guess we're in Chapter 5 now. Which doesn't really matter. I guess it's kind of neat that this game's story is split into the different chapters, although I feel like all the chapters are really, really short, and it doesn't really change anything. I don't know. Probably not going to be that eventful of an episode. Ironic, because we're actually progressing the story. And I say this, during a major scene where they're being like, hey, the whole Earth is getting fucked up, but probably only going to be like one dungeon run in this episode. Maybe two, depends on how long it takes to get through it, I don't know how tough this upcoming dungeon is going to be, because there's going to be a lot of water types, so, I'm in the lead as a fire type, so Torchic might just get kind of fucked, but well, let's just hope that doesn't happen. I'd pop open a water bottle real quick, damn. Need to hydrate more. I forgot just how long this, I forgot how long the cutscenes in this chapter was. Well, there's gonna be quite a few cutscenes coming soon. The story's, starting to pick up more. Ironic, because I spent the past few episodes saying this is the point where the game finally lets you to your own devices and lets you just do stuff freely, but at the same time, I guess the cutscenes are getting longer and more frequent because the story's picking up. I don't know, maybe I'm just stupid. Don't remember if it gives us time to... Yeah, okay, there's time to prepare ahead of time. Oh, yeah, I thought this... Okay, oh, this is really good. Yeah, this will actually be an interesting episode, then. I forgot that you unlock recruitment when you enter this next dungeon. I thought you didn't get it until after the dungeon, but that's really good. That means there's actually something in this upcoming dungeon that I want to recruit as a team member. I mean, obviously, we'll just be recruiting, like, whatever we get along the way, There's definitely Pokemon in the next dungeon that I want to add as a permanent team member. Permanent as can be, considering there are a lot of points in the story where you're not allowed to use extra team members beside the hero and partner. Which really, like, annoys the shit out of me. I mean, I get it for story purposes, although, like... It definitely annoys me how far behind your extra party members can end up falling back, because, I mean, there's a lot of points in the story where you're just not allowed to use them at all, so they just end up missing out on a whole bunch of potential XP. Oh yeah, of course, we got the assembly board over here. I guess I misremembered. That's definitely there in Sky, obviously. I misremembered. I thought that assembly board was not here in Darkness, but no, it definitely is. Anyway, 31 cents, my god. You're so broke. You also gotta quickly check. Oh, the dojo is actually open now. Okay, there's definitely gonna be some really interesting stuff to show in the future here. I don't know how much of the dojo I'm gonna do, but there's something interesting I want to show in the dojo eventually. But first, we'll just progress with the story, first of all. So I won't worry about this for now. I forgot there's a whole, like, entrance cutscene to even entering the dojo at all. It's crazy that a random side character like Marowak gets as much... Okay, no, I'm just being hyperbolic and stupid, never mind. I was gonna say there's no way this fucker gets as much development as characters like, Dugtrio or, like, Chimecho at the guild, but nah, I'm just... Nah, it's not true. Being a dummy. See what's in the shop still, well, a whole lot of nothing. I do believe the shops get better inventories as you get further in the game, but we're still very early, so yeah, this is just a bunch of crap. I guess you can pretty much always buy the weather orbs in the shop, but I don't really want to do that. So let's just quickly prepare the equipment, and then I'll catch you when we get to the dungeon. Okay, let's head to the Secret Waterfall, as it's called. I guess just something to talk about over this cutscene. But in the past episodes, I had mentioned, I'd gone on a whole thing in like the first or second episode about how there's a bunch of version exclusive items. There's a few things I have to add to that, because in the time since I recorded that, aka like 3 days at this point, I learned some new information. So, first of all, apparently, I completely forgot this, but gummies are also version exclusive. And I had thought it was a little weird that I got like 3 red gummies in a row near the early dungeons, but like... No, there are certain there are certain gummies that just straight up will not spawn in either time or darkness. They're only in one version, which is really, 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 really bad. Like, what the hell were they thinking? And what makes it even worse is, Spinda's Cafe is not in darkness at all. I don't know if I had just come out and mentioned that yet, but I alluded to it several times. Spinda's Cafe is not in the game at all. Which means it's even harder to grind gummy points considering half of the gummies are just not going to be in a single version. Which means, like, I believe I saw the grass gummy is not even in darkness, which means, you know, Chikorita is just, like, not even allowed to gummy max. Is what I thought initially. So, the gummies are definitely version exclusive, but something I had neglected to consider about all version exclusive items is that the items that you can receive as rewards for missions are not version exclusive. Which, if you saw it in the last episode when we were just grinding random missions, we got a grass gummy as a reward for one of them. Which means all those version exclusive items, I assume, are still possible to get as random mission rewards. If I had to guess the reason for this being that, it would probably be very annoying and broken if it's like, you try to share a Wonder Mail password with a friend, and, you know, you're playing time, and they have darkness, you send them the Wonder Mail password, and then it invalidates it because it's like, oh, this mission has a invalid version exclusive reward, so you can't send it over. Like, it'd be extremely stupid. But yeah, you can still get these version exclusive items if you if you want to do so. It's just either just grind missions over and over and refresh the missions by just like forfeiting in Beach Cave 100 times until you finally get the mission you want, or do the sensible thing and just like use a Wonder Mail generator, which I don't think I'm going to really show any Wonder Mail generators. If you've played this game, you're probably aware of them. Quick rundown is, you know, people have cracked the Wonder Mail password generation open pretty wide. And so you can make custom Wonder Mail missions, which, like, take place in any dungeon on any floor with whatever reward you want. Maybe I'll mention that more in the future, but we're actually in the dungeon now, so let's focus on that. Still not much use for poison powder. That's probably just getting replaced with something better the moment I get access to it. Gotta be a little careful here, because water types could hit hard, but again, there's also... As you can see, there's quite a lot of Pokemon here. Pretty much all water types. The only exceptions really being like Grimer and Tangela. Yeah, just those two. There's one of these in particular I want to get. Well, yeah, there it is. I want to get Poliwag. If I can recruit this one, it'll be nice, but I definitely want to just, I would like to get a female one, just because it's, you know, a little more optimal. Although, you know, as the third party member, our Poliwag will probably just be sitting in the back, just kind of chilling a lot of the time. Oh my god, that hurt really bad. Yeah, I gotta be careful here. At least Chico has Razor Leaf. We have some kind of ranged abilities, and I guess I can chuck a million rocks. 2 apples for this early dungeon is probably okay. You gotta fight back, Chico. What the hell are you doing? You're gonna die to quick attacks. Come on, you gotta fight back. What are you doing? Yeah, the AI, can be a little dumb in this game, although you probably knew that. At least the Tangela shouldn't be that much of a problem, although it does have sleep powder, and that can be really fucking annoying, because, well, sleep is really annoying. Oh yeah, I had mentioned in the other episode that if you press X a bunch of times, you can use the topmost move in your move list, but I forgot that it actually remembers where your cursor is, which means... You see, I could leave my cursor on Growl, and then hit X a bunch of times, and now Growl is the move queued up to use, so... You could basically, like, quickly mash out whichever move you want on the inventory move list, whatever the hell you want to call it. Still not as good as just hold L and press a button to use any move you want, like in the later games, but it's something at least. Psyduck's... His colors look a little different. Maybe he was more yellow in Rescue Team. I guess I'll talk about Psyduck a little bit, because he's worth mentioning. He was a starter in Rescue Team, where he was, like, decent. I mean, the biggest draw for Psyduck is probably Cloud 9 as an ability, because it just disables weather. and that's, you know, is really good. Don't want to kill this thing too quickly. Well, I failed at that. Yeah, it has Cloud9 as an ability, which is really nice, because it's convenient, because you don't get spammed with, like, Sandstorm or Hail damage messages. That, and also you don't have to worry about stuff like Cloud or, like, Sun or something lowering your damage. The only real downside about Psyduck, I think, is that he doesn't learn any actual water moves until, like, Hydro Pump at level 40 something. I don't know if they changed that in this game, but in Rescue Team, you pretty much had to give it some TMs. Yeah, Psyduck is decent. Not a Pokemon I've ever used personally, but he's okay. Mostly just, you know, Cloud9 is a really good ability, really. Just kind of idle by the stairs a bit. Let's just get the shit kicked out of us by this Surskit real quick. Oh, no. Goes genuinely so close to dying because she just refuses to use a ranged move. I'm gonna have to give her an Oran Berry. She's so low, my god. Probably should have brought more Oran Berries. Oh, yellow gummy. I'm just gonna eat that for myself. No IQ skills and no stats. Fortunate, but I don't know how long I want to idle here, because we're gonna run out of resources pretty fast, I feel like. Oh, 2 max elixirs and like 3 apples is probably good. Barboach? Nobody's thinking about Barboach. Come on now. Ah, damn it. A Poliwag spawned. Actually, gonna have Chico be a little conservative with the Razor Leaves. Be honest, we don't need her spamming it all the time. Like that, there's not much reason to use Razor Leaf there when I can just, you know, help my Pebbles. I want a Poliwag to spawn. Oh, let's just go to the next floor. I don't want to sit around here and waste a bunch of PP. I do want to wait for, I believe it's even-numbered floors. In case you're not aware, by the way, as you can see, both this Psyduck and this Lotad are actually male, and the reason for that is because, if you weren't aware, the gender of enemy Pokemon that spawn on the floor is actually determined by if it's an odd-numbered floor or an even-numbered floor. So on odd-numbered floors, all enemies will always be male, and even-numbered floors, enemies will always be female. With the exception of, like, species that are, you know, species that are gender locked. So, like, Tauros will always be male, no matter what, right? We got a Power Band. Honestly, I'll take that over the Defense Scarf, and then Chico can take that Defense Scarf. The extra defense is nice because I'm in the lead and I'll be taking a lot of hits, but extra firepower, definitely, probably better, and, you know what they say. The best offense is a good wait. I mean, I guess the best defense is a good offense. No, I'm just a fucking idiot. Let's... Oh, shit, enter. I'm just gonna let Chico deal with it, because Wooper's tough. Wooper and Poliwag. I said I wanted to put Poliwag on the team, and that's because I slightly prefer it, but Wooper is also... Ooh, that really hurts. And slow, Jesus. The Wooper and Poliwag are both very good, and they're two Pokemon that share a lot of similarities that make them good, that being... Their abilities are both Water Absorbent Damp for both of them. They're both Water type, obviously, although Wooper has a Ground type, which is pretty nice. They get similar moves, like they get... Well, Wooper gets Water Gun, but Poliwag gets Bubble, which is also pretty good. So, it's one of the options that Wooper does not have. Shit, we're getting jumped. Of course, I miss. Oh, yep, and there's the Sleep Powder. Shit. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, Wooper is pretty good. Poliwag is also pretty good. And it also helps that they're in the very first dungeon that you can actually start recruiting Pokemon in, which means they're around from, like, pretty much the very beginning of the game, which means they get more time than most other Pokemon to actually, like, contribute, you know? Definitely something that goes to make them good. Well, hopefully I'll be able to elaborate on it a little more when we actually find one, but let's just keep moving on. I'll try to get further through the dungeon before recruiting a Poliwag. And I do not want to run out of resources, because if we're not careful, we might actually die here just because so many water types that could hit us. And you can see Surskit has Bubble, so like getting hit with a ranged super effective stab move, like, yeah, and it can slow you. Like, that really, really hurts. We want to avoid that. Nice dead end. Another Wooper. We haven't actually recruited anything yet, and most are probably aware, but to actually recruit something, the leader has to be adjacent, and they have to land the killing blow. Which means, right now we're in a setup where, like, Torchic here can deal, like, a good chunk of damage on the first hit, but then Chico does her hit, and then that kills the opponent more often than not, which means it's kind of difficult to get the enemy at the correct HP threshold to actually recruit them, or you see, Chico just one-shots that Poliwag that I wanted. Another Power Band, why not? Actually, Ice-Seed, really good item, so sure. God, that was a lot of damage. I guess because that was a crit. Still no recruits. I mean, our recruit rate is really low because our level is low. In case you didn't know, the higher your level gets, the higher your recruit rate gets. Like, at certain level thresholds, you get recruit rate bonuses, which are pretty substantial later on with Synthesis. You know what? It's better than Growl, sure. Although, I gotta quickly make sure Chico has Status Checker. Because if she does not have Status Checker... Okay, she doesn't. We're actually gonna have to turn that off for now, because if Pokemon doesn't have Status Checker as an IQ skill, then, for example, like, if it has a healing move, it will just keep trying to spam the healing move on itself, even if it doesn't need healing, because it basically needs Status Checker enabled to be aware that now is the correct time to use a status move, right? You'll also see that, like, if a Pokemon doesn't have Status Checker, it can just try to inflict an enemy with a status multiple times in a row, even when they already have it. Oh, I forgot Whiscash was here, shit. Did I just pick up Transfer Orb? Actually, we'll use that. Actually, no, let's just fight this thing. Just so, I believe, basically, there's a list in this game, right? There's a list that, gets used when determining valid mission clients when it generates missions. You could basically consider it like the seen Pokemon list, like in the Pokedex, right? And for a Pokemon to get added to it... I'm gonna eat this gummy. For a Pokemon to get added to it, you basically have to beat it in a dungeon. Or you just have to, like, accept a Wonder Mail mission where that Pokemon is already a client. So, like, if somebody else gave you a Wonder Mail password. That really hurts. So it is worth it to just beat up every Pokemon we see that's new, just to get them added to that list, really. Well, it's actually not that important to do so, because I have no plans to ever really recruit, getting kind of ahead of myself. Here, Jesus Christ, I'm stumbling over my words a little bit, too. It's very late while I'm recording this, as per usual. Anyway, there's another Poliwag. We're gonna get this one for sure. Trust the plan. That didn't do shit. Oh, we did it. Let's go. First ever recruit and new team member. We're gonna name it Polibow, which, if I remember correctly, was the name of the Poliwag owned by Red in Pokemon Adventures. And I'm gonna steal that name because I think it's pretty cute. Water Sport can get turned off. Bubble and Hypnosis, two amazing moves. Those are two pretty scary moves to be thrown at you from an early game Pokemon. I gotta add, like, that's pretty scary. What do we get? Well, thing has no use for the Power Band yet, because it only has one attacking move and it's special. Let's just keep moving on. If we recruit anything else along the way, that'll be nice. I'm just gonna keep eating these gummies until I get an IQ skill, by the way. Yeah, anything we end up recruiting along the way will be nice, but I got the one thing I specifically wanted. Blast Seed, nope, still not using a Blast Seed. Yeah, now that I actually have Poliwag, let me actually talk about it a little bit. So, yeah, like you can see, has Water Absorb and Damp as abilities. Two very good abilities. Damp means the explosion and self-destruct traps, whatever they're called. I believe it's Blast Trap and, like, Explode Trap. They pretty much don't exist, although we're not even seeing traps in dungeons yet, but it's useful later. Considering they're two of the most annoying traps, so it's very good to just disable them. Water Absorb is also very, very good, because having an immunity that also heals you when it gets triggered, again, like, that's just really, really good, especially since Poly here has pretty low health so far. Excuse me. That water went down the wrong hole a little bit. Shit. My god. Sorry. Anyway, Poliwag. Yeah, it's good. Also, it's a female, so it's optimal, so we can, you know, play the meta. Whatever. I don't remember what IQ group it's in, but it's probably something decent. Not very many bad IQ groups, I don't think, other than, like, IQ group E. I was gonna say something about Poliwag, and I don't remember what. Well, as we already saw, it has Bubble and Hypnosis as moves, which are just two really good moves. Hypnosis has not very good accuracy, but, I mean, it's a sleep move, so obviously doesn't. You get some pretty interesting stuff later on, especially if you choose to evolve it. Like, you can get Double Slap. If you choose to evolve it into Poliwhirl, it will get Mind Reader, which you can then link with Double Slap or, like, Blizzard or something, and just have a really strong combo. We'll get to link moves, though. I don't believe we have access to those quite yet. Oh, I remember what I was going to say now. Yeah, you can see Water Absorb just got triggered. I don't think this was the case in Rescue Team or in Sky, but I'm pretty sure in Time of Darkness, there's, like, no message for Water Absorb in the message log. If a Pokemon with Water Absorb gets hit with a water move, it will just heal, and the game won't make note of that, and I find that a little odd, because usually there's some kind of message attached to that, like, you know, oh, Pokemon healed with Water Absorb or something, but no, it just doesn't mention it, and I find that weird. Just finish up exploring this last floor here, and just get out of here, although not really anything noteworthy in here, I don't think, and I'm not going to bother eating another apple. Let's just head back to the stairs, and hopefully we won't get attacked along the way. Oh yeah, this isn't something I can demonstrate, because I'm not playing as a water type, but if you've played Mystery Dungeon, you're probably aware that... So if you're a water type, you can walk on water, obviously, or a lot of Pokemon can walk on water. And if you try to switch places like this, like I just did, I switched places with Chico there. If you are in a tile of water and you try to switch places with a Pokemon that can't walk on water, the game will offer to warp you, in which case the Pokemon who steps onto the water because of the swap will just teleport next to you somewhere on a valid tile. Or at least that's how it works in Sky. In Rescue Team and Time of Darkness only, this warp is random. It will just teleport you to a random spot on the floor, which is awful. That is absolutely horrible. That is pretty much grounds for whatever gets warped to just die really quickly, because getting separated from the team is really bad in this game. I'm very glad they decided to change that in Sky, although I'm not sure why they bothered keeping it like that in Time of Darkness. It's just very weird. I guess that's what I find interesting about this game, is, like, it's in this weird, like, middle state of adding a bunch of quality of life and improvements over Rescue Team, and yet still lacking quality of life improvements itself. And so it's this weird middle ground. I'm not sure there's any other examples I can think of that are quite like it, but it's interesting. Also, I just realized, this is going to be a very, very autistic thing to point out, but this animation Torchic is doing here of, trying to pull on the gem uses sprites from the Look Up animation that Pokemon use only in Rescue Team, where there's a cutscene when you beat the boss of Mount Steel. Oh wait, no, you know what? No, never mind, I'm being dumb. That's a Look Down animation, not a Look Up animation. I'm an idiot. There definitely is a Look Up animation, though, that gets used elsewhere. I'm just not sure where. Oh, you know what? I think it does get used in Rescue Team and Sky Tower in, like, the ending cutscene, I believe. When your character looks up at the meteor. I might be wrong, I'll have to check that in editing. Anyway. I gotta say, it's kind of nice that if you recruit extra Pokemon, they get added to the cutscenes, but, a lot of the cutscenes, they just kind of get shoved behind the message box, because the cutscene was clearly scripted around just the player and partner being there. And you're, like, you know, whatever other recruits you have just kind of get pushed off to the side. I wish it would be possible for the extra recruits you get to get a little more attention and character somehow, right? The best they can get is, like, just having extra lines of dialogue if you speak to them in a dungeon, or, like, outside of a dungeon when you're getting ready for preparing. Which I completely forgot to actually show off when I recruited this thing, unfortunately. So I guess it'll just have to be something for next time. Something interesting about this, well, no, I'll wait a little bit to bring that up. No, actually, I'll bring it up right now. Something interesting about this whole sequence with Waterfall Cave, where, I mean, I'm just gonna assume you know the story, but, like, you go back to the, guild, and Wigglytuff admits that he's already explored this place before, and so he kind of takes the wind out of your sails, because the player and partner at this point think that they're exploring a brand new place. I believe apparently it may have come as like an extra little comic packaged with like a limited edition of the original games or something. I don't remember where this was, but I believe there's a little side comic, there's an official side comic, I should say, actually showing Wigglytuff discovering this place for the first time. I'm like 99% sure that exists and was like found recently, or like I had my attention brought to it recently or something. Maybe I'm just like a complete schizo and I'm wrong, but I swear that was a thing. Again, in editing, I'll just have to check. Also, now that I'm looking at it, I feel like the world map is, like, different in Time of Darkness compared to Sky. I didn't take a close look at it right now, but it's probably the same for the most part. I feel like maybe there's like, the color is different or something, or, again, maybe I'm just a fucking schizo. I also find it funny that most starter Pokemon are very short, so when you get to the hot spring here, you're so short that your face is, like, half submerged in the water. Funny. Let's save your adventure. Yes, I will, even though it will take like 30 seconds. Okay, not 30 seconds. This isn't as bad as Diamond and Pearl. And if you've played Diamond and Pearl before, you know what it's like to save a lot of data because you moved a fucking like Bidoof one space in your PC box. And so, you know, all hell breaks loose and the game has to make you spend like 3 times as long saving the game just to keep track of that. You know, I've never understood why that was a thing. It was only a thing in Diamond Pearl Platinum, I think. I want to say that Heart Gold and Soul Silver, funny enough, may also have to save extra data if you move Pokemon in the box, but the funny thing is, if it does, I'm pretty sure it doesn't actually have a special message when you save to go along with it, like the saving a lot of data. Although it's been years since I've played Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and, might be blasphemy, but I don't fucking like those games, so it'll probably be a long time before I replay them at all. So I don't know for certain. Maybe that'll be something to play on the channel one day. Well, not Heart Gold and Soul Silver, fuck those, but I definitely had plans to do like a Pokemon Pearl Let's Play at some point. Although, I'm currently in the middle of playing Pokemon Pearl that I got my hands on a used copy of it a few weeks ago. So I've just been having fun with that, just off camera. I kind of mentioned this before when I started this Let's Play. I was saying that, like, I feel like a Let's Play of a game like Explorers that's so story-focused has been done so many times that, like, there's not much original to say. My thoughts on that weren't very organized, but what I really meant was, I definitely mean that more so for, like, Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, just any mainline game, right? I feel like those are games where if you were to do a Let's Play of them, then the entire Let's Play kind of just writes itself, because, like, oh, I'm gonna pick, you know, one of the 3 starters and use it for the whole game, and I'm gonna name my Piplup fucking, like, Pengu or something like that, and I'm gonna, like, catch a Starly and name it fucking Shartly or something, I don't know. I feel like it's really hard to do anything original or interesting like that, or you have something in a Pokemon Let's Play where it'd be like, oh my god, I, like, took like 3 minutes to catch a Geodude because I kept throwing Pokeballs and it didn't work, so I'm just gonna name it like Stupid Little Asshole, and he's gonna be like a mascot for the series. I don't know, maybe I'm just pure schizo rambling and just like being a whiny bitch, but I don't know. I forgot just how, like, disappointing and, like, blue balls the ending of the whole Waterfall Cave thing is. It's kind of funny how they just completely take all the wind out of your partner's sails, like I said, and they just get left off going, oh, damn. Like, kind of funny. I gotta say, I forgot, the partner in this game has a big fixation on, like, wanting to explore and, like, hunt treasure and find new places and stuff, and I don't know how I feel about that aspect of the game compared to, like, because in Rescue Team, right, the whole point of your team is, in the name, Rescue Team, is to go out on missions and, like, save people from the disasters. And that obviously had to, like, keep that aspect of the game, right, where you go out and rescue people. That's literally the, like, gameplay loop of the game, is to just do random missions and go rescue random people. But, like, they shift the focus to be on, like, about exploring, but the gameplay doesn't really reflect that very well, because everything we've done up to this point in the story has been doing rescue missions, but only now, as an exploration team, are we actually doing an exploration. I don't know. It's kind of funny. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad change or anything, I just, I don't know, call me pretentious for using a term like this, but it damages the Ludo narrative. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if that's the right time to use a term like that. But I do think there are instances of, like, ludonarrative dissonance in this game for sure. As in, like, notable cases of it. And this game does one of the things that annoys the shit out of a lot of people. There's a boss fight in the game, which is, like, it's a forced loss, or I should say less of a forced loss, and more of a, even if you win in the cutscene, even if you, like, win the actual battle, you lose in the cutscene. But that's, like, way later down the line. Kind of trying to think of something to talk about the Fill the Dead Air, really. But no, like, it'll be a lot later. I also gotta say, I don't really know how I feel about the whole dimensional screen being a part of the story. I guess it's, like, it's interesting as, like, a plot hook that your character has something unique that, like, gets explained later, and that there's, like, an actual mystery that you're chasing. I guess I like the aspect of it, but I'm not a big fan of the whole thing some stories do, where it's, like, your player character has some kind of epic, spooky-dooky superpower that makes them super unique, because, I guess it inspired a lot of people to make their OCs also have some kind of stupid superpower. Oh, that's, like, really rich of something to, like... I shouldn't really get upset at the game for that, you know, the people who make stupid, like, Sonic OCs give their characters stupid, edgy backstories, like... I shouldn't really fault the game for that, but... I did kind of prefer that in Rescue Team, aside from being a human turned into a Pokemon, your player character is otherwise just pretty normal. But, like, this game did it with the Dimensional Scream, like, the protagonist having some kind of special power, and I think it did it well for what it's worth. But then well, I don't remember if Gates and Super did that, because it's been a long time since I've played the stories of either. And I can say I'm definitely never playing Super again, because I hate that game, I think it's terrible. I haven't played the Gates of Story... The Gates of Story. Fucking hell, man. I'm an idiot. The Story of Gates. I haven't played the Story of Gates in, like 8 years at this point. My god. Whatever. Anyway, well, that's the end of Chapter 5, I guess. Literally one dungeon. But it was a productive dungeon, because we got some good items, ate some gummies, and we added our first new recruit, not just to the team as a whole, but our first permanent party member. So with that, I think that'll be a good place to call it. So, see you next time.